Hello, my name is Dave Morera. I'm a staff technical marketing architect for vSphere at VMware. This is an overview of Distributed Services Engine, or vSphere and DPUs, also known as Project Monterey from a few years back. We've been working closely with our OEM and hardware partners like NVIDIA, Dell, AMD, Lenovo, to create a solution for our customers to be able to gain performance for their workloads, consolidate VMs closely within their ESXi host, and add additional features to their environment. Now, we're talking about on-prem environment here. So, Distributed Services Engine, it's new as of ESXi or vSphere 8.0. And what we're doing here is leveraging new hardware technology. So, like I mentioned before, we have DPUs. And DPU stands for Data Processing Unit. Some other companies have different names for them, but they're also known as Data Processing Unit or SmartNICs. So we have what we know are ESXi hosts. So let's pretend we have a lot of hosts, and we have performance NICs. A lot of our customers have that. We have that in our labs, etc. So those NICs are actually allowing us to offload some of the capabilities to the actual NIC. Not much, but it helps a little bit. What we're trying to do is take those data processing units and either replace or add in addition to those ESXi hosts to help us with workload consolidation, energy consumption, as well as security and offload services. So we want to be able to return some of the CPU resources back to that ESXi host, right? So how do we do that? First, let's talk about the DPUs. So the DPUs look like a NIC. So these are connectors. And the difference here is that we have ARM processors. So here, I'm going to draw this. There is an interconnect between a CPU here and a programmable accelerator. So this is the port for the NIC. Right, the difference here is that we have that CPU, we have some storage, we have memory. Right, so now it looks like a mini tiny computer. And what we can do on those CPUs, having storage, having memory, having CPU, it allows us to leverage that and install ESXi on the actual DPU. Again, this is a NIC, a network interface, with additional capabilities, hardware capabilities like that CPU, accelerator, interconnect between the two, high speed, so they can talk to each other faster. And it's going to allow us to install ESXi on that. Now, the benefits of this are that we can actually offload services down to the CPU. So let's take that CPU and plug it into that DPU, and let's plug it into a host. All right, we can keep that NIC for something else, maybe management traffic, etc. But we want the major workload traffic to go through this. So one of the things we talked about for Project Monterey, it's offloading services. One of the services that we started with was the NSX services. So think about how much resources we're utilizing for NSX, right? So by us being able to offload services to the DPU, we're returning resources back to the host. So now our CPU resources are going up on this side, and we're going to consume the CPU on the DPU for the NSX services. So now NSX is going to be running here, and traffic is going to come in here through that port, but now we have more capabilities on this side on the host. So what can we do? Right? We can either take the existing VMs and increase resources, or we can add more VMs, so that consolidation ratio is going to go up. And we can put more VMs in a single host. So think about this in a bigger scale. Right? Then we may not need 40 ESXi hosts to manage our workloads. Maybe we only need 32 or 34. So that's going to give us that consolidation ratio, but also is going to minimize that the utilization of energy consumption and resources. So cost effective as well.